All right, so let's go over what it takes to run a StreamYard stream for Containers from the Couch. Here's StreamYard. Well, first thing, normally you probably want to be in. There's an AWS Live channel. If you're not in there, let one of us know. We can invite you. I think it's private. But there's a quip. That's AWS Live calendar with the year, and it shows all of the scheduled shows. Sometimes there's conflicts. Myself or Adam should get those notifications, and you can see them on here. So if you are planning a show, like, we'll let you know. There's also an Asana board. Make sure you fill out there just to coordinate when we're going live, because we share the Twitch channel. The YouTube channel is all ours. If we want to do pre-recorded stuff or just stream there, that's fine. But typically the Twitch audience gets more interactions and just a larger views. So in StreamYard itself, when you're in here, you have to log in with the container team streaming. Oh man, I always forget what it is. It's an email. There's a quip. There's always a quip. Let me just find it real fast. It is called AWS Containers DA Projects. I always have to look this up because I always forget it, so that's okay. It has a bunch of information in here with some assets. Container Team Streaming at Amazon is the email you log into to StreamYard. That alias goes to all of us. It'll give you a code. You log in with that. This quip has the wood background. It has a template for the banners that I use typically for the standard live shows. I just use this banner and kind of just change the text every time. And I use Pixlr most of the time just because it's web-based, so it's easy enough from literally any device just to make a banner real quick. So if you are going to do a show, try to make a custom banner first. If not, this is our standard banner image that you can also use. It's a placeholder. It only really matters for YouTube because Twitch doesn't get anything. But let's go through and make a broadcast just in case you want to see it. Here's all our broadcasts, or all our destinations up here. For a typical stream, you just have Twitch and YouTube. Give it a title, a decent description. This goes directly into YouTube. Oftentimes, I put something small here and then I go into YouTube later and edit it because you want to add tags. You want to add some YouTube specific stuff in the broadcast, maybe some links. So this is kind of just a placeholder just to create the actual stream in YouTube. And then always schedule it for later. And here's your upload an image with a custom banner or our default banner. On Twitch, the calendar, they also like us to put Containers from the Couch first and then the actual show. But you can't do that here. You can't separate out that title for Twitch, so we have to edit it later. We don't often do it. Not many people see our shows. We don't clip them and keep them on Twitch, so not a big deal. But I'm going to make a recording or a stream with a test. I won't upload a video, but let's say it's today for 12:40, sure. And you can customize each destination, which you could set your title here for each. But again, I find it so much easier just to go to the places and do it there. Especially since there's a bunch of tags and things that you can't do here in YouTube. So let's create this broadcast. Oh shoot, that's actually going to make a... let me edit that. Oh, here, I'll go into it. That actually made a YouTube video that says test. So we want to remove that destination. I don't have access to my mic because I'm using it right now to record with OBS. So we're just going to say we're going to go into it. We are going to remove our destination there. Twitch doesn't actually make anything on the schedule. So you can create stuff and it doesn't actually show up. It's okay. You also can't like pre-send something. You can't schedule ahead of time for Twitch. Let me try this actually. Let me plug in another camera just to have something. So I can bring in a device. Probably weird. That's okay. We're just showing you how to use it. Let's see. Settings. This one? Does that one work? Do I have a camera now? Hey, look at that. It's camera behind my mic. That's what we got. So when you're running a show, everyone starts and they become, as an admin, you'll see them down here. You also see your layouts here. This is our typical layout for just a group talking. and we'll go into the other stuff. But you can add people into the stream as needed. If someone shares their screen, like I can share my screen here. I highly recommend getting a second monitor that is 1080p because it just makes everything easier, and it's not too big, and they can just share multiple windows at a time. So if you're doing this often, just find a small monitor, buy a small monitor. Very recommended. I use a Cintiq that actually has a pen input, which I love to whiteboard with. So now I see my monitor down here and my actual second camera that's behind my mic over here. So if I add myself in, this is what it looks like if two people come, and you can actually join multiple times yourself. So I could join from my phone, and I can join here, and it actually works really well to join from like an iPad if you're not running the entire thing, just to be able to see comments and pop them in to join twice. So you can leave someone out without any audio. They can still hear everything that's going on, but this is just the typical layouts. There also is, what's it called? Stream Deck plugin. If you have a Stream Deck, there's a whole StreamYard set up for it. So, but here's the general stuff. Using Chrome is better for screen share because it lets you do per window, and the virtual background, usually we recommend people, if they have a green screen, make sure this is checked because performance is a lot better. You also get less like fuzzy stuff around your head. So this is the general, we're in a stream. The main things you kind of want to look out for are under brand. When you're just heads, no screen share, you want to be on this AWS Talking Heads, and there's different layouts for 2, 3, or 4 heads or 3 heads, and all it does is it moves these little banners around so that they're not covering people as much, and it just makes it nicer to see. Before you go live on a typical stream, you'll do the intro video. So I play the video, which plays full screen on the video. This is a 60-second video. I usually wait till about 40 to 30 seconds, and then I click go live, because they don't need to sit for a full minute listening to the music, even though it's great. So you'll click intro. Once it's done, everyone's back in the layout you were at before you click that video. These transition videos are kind of old, and none of them have subtitles, so I do not use them. I've asked to get them subtitled and have not found a way to do that yet. So most everything else down here we pretty much never use. But yeah, the main talking, or the layout here, and just how many heads is kind of the primary thing. If you are screen sharing, well, that's going to be amazing. That's going to make me real slow too, probably. If you are screen sharing, the main thing you just want to do is you want to come in here and switch to screen share. And again, whichever 2, 3, or 4 heads layouts, the 2 heads gives you, bigger logos, 3 heads makes it a little smaller, and 4 sticks it over here. If there are 2 people or more people on this side, I try to put one of us or a host at the bottom, because when you bring in comments, it covers them, and so it's always confusing if the guest keeps getting covered. It's kind of annoying. So you can just drag this window if there are 2 people over here. You can just drag them and rearrange them. So put whoever, usually one of the hosts at the top. If there's only one host, then stick yourself at the bottom, and then the guests, just so that comments don't cover them. But if it is only 3 hosts, then you don't have to worry about it. Same with 2 hosts, because it'll just cover one of the logos. That's fine. Let's remove that. So it's just talking heads again. I wish there was a way to save this so that it would automatically go back, but this just brings the couch back in. The head layout does save, so if you do it once in the stream, if you have 4 people, once you switch between these, that'll save, so you don't have to worry about it going back and forth. We do have some other things for Container Day, which is basically just like a different background. Actually, I don't think this is very customized at all. The general ones we do are just these top 2. Comments. You'll see a list of comments coming in here. There's no live stream right now, so I'm not getting the live comments, but this is just a demo comment that you can always pop in just to show what it looks like. Usually I show guests, this is what the comments will look like. We try to pop them in when it's appropriate. The comments coming in, you can scroll back through, so you don't have to pull them up right away. You have time to say, oh yeah, we'll address that later. If you want to reply to them, you can post down here. I'm blocking this this little window down here, but you can post a reply as the AWS account and as Containers from the Couch on YouTube. So wherever that comment's going out, you'll be the official account or whoever the destination account is based on these things. So if it's on my LinkedIn, it'll show up as a comment from me. So you can post comments to reply. Oftentimes we'll do that to like get a link on the screen and say like, oh, here, we're going to reply this to everyone because it was a comment we popped on screen. So let's just say, hey, here's the resource, here's the link for today's show, whatever the case may be. We put that in the comments, and then once it comes in for us, we click on it and like show it on screen. We also have a shortener, CFTC.info, that we use, especially for the like long AWS blog URLs. So try to make those ahead of time. And what I typically do is there's private chat. I make all the links ahead of time and I put them in private chat. And I just say, this is, link 1 with whatever the URL is. So I can go back through private chats. I just copy paste it into the comments and then I can show it on screen. It saves you from typing. So you don't have to like mute your mic and all that stuff. A couple mouse clicks is a lot easier. Banners is the other thing that we often will show up. They show up just like comments, but it's just a bunch of pre-canned phrases, things that we sometimes show. A lot of times, like for a long time we were pushing the channel on the stream. I don't know that it helped or did a whole lot, but there's just some like general things. We have a bunch of folders that we were using for a while because they have to be in folders, and some of them are just old. We can probably get rid of them, but show banners is the typical like where we have multiple, but again, we might use 1 or 2 a show. It's not a big deal. Once you're done, you go into brand. There's an outro video here. Just like the intro, it plays. It doesn't have a countdown. It just says thank you. I typically will count in my head to 10 or so and then stop it. It's nice to have a little bit on there just because it will, you can show things on YouTube, videos that people should go link to and stuff like that. So it's not covering the talk and it gives them some information they can go have some actions on. Oh, and the banners don't go away by themselves. I have to go back, find that banner, and hide it. I wish there was a way to time those out. Same thing with comments. So if you are hosting, make sure that when you show it, once you're done talking about it or reading it or whatever, you hide it as well. They're easy to forget about and leave up. We don't often use the other layouts. Like I said, this one is the only other one that kind of comes in, and it gives you just a better screen share layout where there's a tiny version of me with a larger screen. If there's a lot of text on the screen, you probably want to go to something like that. It hides the other hosts, so you have to select who the person to show is, but it's nice to be able to see a bigger screen. So I think that's pretty much everything in the interface. Again, I mean, the most thing to do. Oh, and I pretty much always have a separate window open with Twitch and YouTube, just the chats. I'll go to the stream ahead of time and if you're not a moderator, Bella can give you access, but everyone should be chat moderators. So, come on, chat. Show the chat. Don't play. So what I always do is I switch to non-mod settings, I pop out the chat, and then I have this floating window which is just the chat. And I'm a moderator in this chat, so I can, if someone needs to be banned or something else, I can do that. I actually have never done it. I've never needed to because I've always had someone that was doing it for me. But I know the mod settings are here, so if you're not familiar with that, Bella also has a training on how to moderate Twitch. Same thing with YouTube. You can go to YouTube, you can pop out the chat. So I often will have, the main StreamYard window and then just have these off screen on another screen, so I can see them coming in, because when I see this chat is a little bit delayed. So, but if I do see something come in that's offensive or spam, random spam bots and stuff that come in, I can't do those controls from StreamYard. I have to go into the chat itself. So having those up and ready is way better than trying to panic and do it after the fact. So, yeah, just keep those chat windows popped up and kind of in the background just so they're available. But I think that's it. If you have any other questions, let me know. Again, yeah, once you end the session, it dumps you back here on the outro video. I just click the stop record or stop live stream button, and then it dumps us back into this, and you can chat or people drop, doesn't matter. So yeah, I think that's it. Hope that helped.